If you're in a market for an electric bike with a long range of over 80 miles, large fat tires that are capable of going off-roading with full suspensions in the front and the back, and just a massive package of high-end spec at an affordable price range, I present to you the Engwe's latest M20 electric bike. Hello everyone, Shiva Sapkota here. We review a lot of electric bikes in this channel, and just from Engwe, we have reviewed several different models in the past, and they reach out about this new model that they are releasing. I don't think this is even listed for sale on their website yet as I'm making this video, but this electric bike has it all. I set it up and I took it on a ride, and I have been doing a lot of testing on this electric bike, and I am impressed. First of all, as you can see, it has two batteries, so you can either get a one battery version or a second battery version. You can add it yourself. It has a modular design, so you can upgrade it later if you decide to upgrade this electric bike. It comes with some massive headlights, as you can see, dual headlights. So many different features packaged on this electric bike, and they told me that the cost was going to be under $1,600. So I am really excited to present this to you today. We're going to do an unboxing. I'm going to show you how to set it up, how to add this second battery. I'm going to take it on a ride. I'm going to do a full specification walkthrough of every single pieces on this electric bike, how they perform, what they do, and then I'm going to share my honest opinion about this electric bike. So here's the box, and as you can see, it is fully protected with lots of foam everywhere. So it's going to take us a little while to get through all of this foam. This is how it looks like outside the box. We've got some fenders to install, the front wheel, and we're pretty much done. Just handlebar securing. It's just the basic e-bike stuff. This is a normal packaging for Engwe that we have reviewed in the past. So this is what it looks like after we removed all the foam and the zip ties. So this is pretty much done. We just need to install this handlebar here and then grab that front wheel and use the hub to install it right here. To install the handlebar, we got to use the tools that they sent with the bike. We got to remove this 4 Allen screws from here and then align this and then put the screws back. Now that this plate is removed, you just have to stand this here. This side faces the right with the screen and with the gear on the left side, and you can put this plate back on right here at the groove, and you can insert the screws. You don't have to secure them fully so that you can adjust this a little bit later once we put the front wheel, but for now you can kind of tighten it and make sure that it is secured but not fully. Now for the wheel, we got to remove this hub that came during shipping and replace it with this hub for the actual wheel. And if you see right there, that's your disc brake. You're gonna align with this disc, and we just got to remove the screws right here at the edge and put this hub. So for the front wheel, the owner's manual says I have to install the axle first, so that's what I did. And then how this goes is there's this little metal bracket. You want to put this between this disc and the fork, and then there are 2 washers outside. So that's all you have to do, and you just got to make sure that this disc brake, the disc is in between the brake pads here. So just make sure they're cushioned here. Then on the other side, you gotta do the same thing, but a longer metal bracket goes on the other side. Then we just have these 2 washers that we have to install. One here, and then the other washer here. Then we need to close this in. For this front fender, what we're going to do is it's a typical process where there are these screws. We're going to remove it. There's one big screw in the front, and we're going to put it like this and then remove this and install it right here. So these headlights are pretty cool. All you have to do is there are 2 brackets. So there's one left and right, and we just have to install it right here in the stem. So for that, we got to remove this screw and this screw, clamp it together, and then tighten those screws so the headlights kind of go vertical. That way you can adjust this. We can secure it once you find a sweet spot. But first, we gotta install it. So this is how the headlight goes. As I said, put it in the bracket on the back, then secure it using this screw here and this screw inside, and just tighten it further. The pedal installation is a pretty straightforward process. As you can see, these are marked right and left on the tip here. So you just grab the right one. So this is left, and it even shows you how to thread in the left pedal, which is this way. So you can hand thread this and then use the wrench to further secure it. Now the final step is, if you bought the second battery, you're gonna install it right here. And this actually requires us removing this seat so that we can access the controller, but they made it pretty modular so that you can put this through here. They also send you a battery balancing kit so that you can connect this battery, and then you just plug this into the controller. So we are gonna go ahead and try that here. And to install this battery, it comes with this bracket in the bottom. So you just have to remove this bracket and then slide this bracket out like this. Then we're going to install this bracket here with the screws that they sent, and that is all we have to do for mounting. Then we need to route the wire and install it here. So let's do that next. So you're going to take this mounting hardware here. It doesn't matter where you mount it, but I'll probably pick here, so it gives us just enough here. And then there's these 3 holes that we have to align for this screws to go, because they send you 3 screws, and we're just going to install the screws. So to remove the seat, we're gonna need to remove this big seat screws from the frame. So we can remove the seat, and the controller is attached right here with the seat. All right, so after you remove all the screws from the bottom, which is a little tedious because these are in a difficult to reach area, so use all of these openings to get to those screws. You can just remove this seat. And this is where you can expose the controller and all the wiring. So let's go ahead and hook up the second battery. I think we're gonna fit this balancing device right here so that we can cover it up and then connect all the battery cable. Let's go ahead and do that. So we have this cable coming from this battery, and then the second cable coming from the other battery here is just right here. So all you gotta do is use this converter to combine these two. So we're gonna remove this. Now we're going to connect this to the controller, but before we do that, it might make sense to connect the batteries first. Doesn't really matter. This is a Dean's T connector. It's a pretty standard process. So we're gonna plug that, and then this has a fuse and everything, so you're not gonna blow up anything. And these are the same voltage batteries, same capacity, so essentially identical batteries, but we do need to balance them together. So then we are going to connect this. That's it. Now we can connect this here to the controller. Now we are good to go. We just need to figure out a way to hide this here. If you want to be extra careful, you can also put some electrical tape here. So now with the 2 batteries, this system becomes a 28 amp hour system, because these are 14 amp hour each 48 volt batteries. Let's do a complete walkthrough of this electric bike. If you just look at the frame, this looks very, very heavy duty. It looks very rugged. It's very capable. And the spec agree with that. First of all, the motor. This motor is a 1000 watt motor, and this is super powerful. Even Engwe's, the EP2 that we reviewed, only had a 750 watt motor. So this is a very, very capable motor. It will help you go uphill. It will help you go fast. It is just really powerful 1000 watt motor. We typically only see 750 watt motor on this bike, on this price ranges usually. Then these large fat tires. These are 20-inch by 4-inch fat tires. Super capable tires. If you take a look at it here, the treads are really good, and they are heavy duty fat tires, super wide, that will allow you to not only commute on regular terrain, but also it will allow you to go off-roading. Then the headlights. These are motorcycle style headlight and dual headlight. And this is something that we have been asking for all this time, where if you look at it, this one, it is pointing down and that one is pointing towards the straight. And the issue that I run into sometime is that if the bike only has one headlight and that's just pointing down, then I see something right in the front, but I don't see it kind of far away. So this allows me to adjust that angle where I have the light in both directions. And these are heavy duty lights with magnifiers inside, and there's another strip bar right here, almost like a headlight and a fog light, and there's independent controls to control that. Then of course the dual battery. this is a giant system with those dual batteries, and these are heavy duty batteries that we typically see on other electric bikes. This is the first for Engwe that we have seen, because Engwe usually makes those bike on the folding stem, but this one is one of those large 48 volt battery, a typical 48 volt battery that we see. This is a 14 amp hour, so if you look at it, so that is 48 volt 14 amp hour, that is 48 volt 14 amp hour, so together this is a 28 amp hour system. So it's a massive system for an electric bike, especially in this class. We start seeing 20 plus amp hour on bikes that are typically $2,500 and above. So it's really nice that the range that you get from this, and Engwe claims that you can get what, 47 miles per battery, so double that, so you're easily getting 90 plus miles on this full charge. Of course, that is an ideal number, so we're going to do some testing here. It is winter time, so our range testing might be very limited, but we'll try our best to do the range testing here. Nevertheless, if you get 60 plus miles on an electric bike, that's a win. I mean, we typically don't ride electric bike for that long. That also means that if you're using this for regular commute, you're not gonna have to charge it as often because the battery capacity is really high. You can, however, get just a one battery option. It's gonna save you a little bit on cost and just not have that. And instead of having this battery here, they send you a little bike bag that you can put. It's a carbon fiber bike bag that you can put there instead. Which brings me to a great point, that they made this a modular design. So this battery, as we installed earlier, right here in the frame, then we can remove this seat. That's what we did. And then the controller is right there. So it makes it really easy to troubleshoot. And if there's any issues in the future that you need to contact Engwe, you can just use that to troubleshoot your bike, send them the data, and then they will help you with the warranty and whatnot. So it is really easy to do that. I like that. They made it a modular design. Other e-bikes hide their controller somewhere inside the frame, but this is out open. You just have to remove the seat and it's right there. So that also means you can upgrade the controller in the future if you wanted to, because you got your battery, the controller, 1000-watt motor. So if you wanted a different controller with different system, maybe a better system where you can see the screen in the front, you can do that. There are multiple mods out there, and we have done some of those mods here, even in this channel. Then the frame itself, it has a front fork suspension right here, which is pretty typical of an electric bike. This is fully adjustable front fork, so you can adjust the compression here and just make it whatever you want for the type of terrain that you are in. And then it also has a hydraulic suspension in the rear, and we saw this with the Engine Pro 2 upgrade, that it had the same type of a hydraulic suspension in the back, and it works really well, helps you absorb those bumps. So another method of why this e-bike is off-road capable, and it's a comfortable ride. So if you're going through the bumps, if you're jumping the curb, you can still be comfortable because it got dual suspension on this electric bike. They also send you full metallic fenders, so Engwe never disappoints on that aspect, that this is a metallic fender and they have that here. They are using disc brakes on both sides, and these are mechanical disc brakes. I wish they were going with an hydraulic disc brake for this application, because it's such a heavy bike and it's a very capable bike. The Engine Pro 2 upgrade actually had the hydraulic disc brakes on both front and rear. These are just a typical mechanical disc brakes for electric bike, and they are using the Woozing system, and we have talked about the system in the past. It is reliable, it works great, but those are the brand that you typically find on the cheaper electric bike. So I wish they were using Tektro or something a little bit different, not the Woozing brand, but again, it works, it's reliable. Then they're using a Shimano system. It's a 7-speed gearing system from Shimano. We have seen this system quite a lot. They are using Tourney again, and we had complained last time when we reviewed the C20 Pro from them that Tourney is the lowest end of the e-bike gearing system. So I wish they were using a little bit of a higher end that we see on other electric bike, like EP2 was using a little bit of a higher end product. So I think they are trying to cut cost. Tourney works, right? Like I don't have any complaints per se about Tourney. It's just not a high-end system. Then they actually included an integrated tail light, and this is what Engwe does on their electric bike, and we really like it that the EP2 Pro came with the integrated tail light like that, where you can use the brakes and then it actually lights up right here. It has a power from that controller. Now moving on to the cockpit of this electric bike, if you look at the cockpit, it is unique. It reminds me a lot of a motorcycle type of cockpit. This is not a typical e-bike cockpit, and the design that they implemented, again, they have those front fork here all the way to the top. Typically the fork is stopped right here, so they have it all the way to the top here. Then they bent this stem and added this extension right here towards the left to make it go towards the front, and then have the handlebars there. So this is a very unique design. It was very easy to install, easy to adjust, and it is a unique design. What I do wish was if Engwe would make this little bit slightly rotatable so that we could rotate and adjust this handlebar to our liking. But it's a wide handlebar, so that makes it really easy to turn. So this is some of the widest handlebars we have seen on electric bikes, so I'm really glad Engwe incorporated that. Right here on the cockpit, you just have this twist throttle, so you can just twist this and it works. Not a big fan of twist throttle. I wish it was a thumb throttle, but a lot of people actually like the twist throttle on this. And then you got the Shimano shifter here, pretty standard system. Then moving towards the left is we have this this handlebar grips. You have this light controller, your horn, so they are using an electronic horn, and then this center screen. This center screen is not as impressive as the Engine Pro 2, where we saw the green beautiful center screen here. We commented on that, but this one is a small center screen. It works. It has all the information, it has all the P settings and everything that you can control, but I wish it was a larger screen right here instead of being here. This makes it more of a typical e-bike rather than a unique e-bike with a large screen right here. So that is everything that this bike offers. Again, a really nice design. The seat design makes it look more of a e-moped style electric bike, and it has all the spec to back it up. This is a very capable electric bike. So let's take it out and ride, and then I'm gonna share my opinion after riding this electric bike. So this is the charger for the battery, and it's the same thing right here. And in addition to that input in that side, they also have a USB output here. So you can charge your phone while riding, and now you can charge two phones. So one here and one here, because there are two batteries. This is the performance we tested with the M20 for about 3 weeks of riding. Please keep in mind, it is winter time here, and e-bikes usually don't perform as well in the cold. First of all, the riding quality. The riding quality of this e-bike is exceptional thanks to its dual hydraulic suspension system. You can easily hop the curves, go between grass and paved surfaces, and take this e-bike off-roading. It has a smooth acceleration and overall a very comfortable ride. The motor performance is as expected and amazingly powerful. This is one of the highest power motors on an e-bike we have tested here. We typically just see 750 watt motors on these e-bikes, even the electric bikes that are over $2,000, including that Be Cool e-moped style e-bike we recently reviewed. It maintained a constant speed of 20 miles per hour on a 15% grade that we typically only see 12 to 16 miles per hour on the same hill. So motor-wise, we were impressed. We were able to get a maximum of 26 miles per hour speed on a full charged dual battery. This is in line with other high-end e-bikes we have tested and much better than some of the e-mopeds with 15 to 20 miles per hour max speed we have showcased here. The range is a little bit difficult to test in the cold, but after the first full charge on the dual battery system, we're able to get roughly 52 miles riding on mainly throttle and high pedal assist modes in a span of about 2 weeks. The power decreased significantly somewhere around the 2 battery bars left, but it still gave us over 15 miles per hour speed. This is a really great range. Of course, it is not that 90 miles range that they promised, but again, it is cold and you never get that full range that the manufacturer promised because those are under ideal condition under a flat terrain. The braking performance wasn't as good as some of the other e-bikes in this class though. The brakes are noisy and don't have a solid instant grip like the Engine Pro 2 upgrades hydraulic brakes and some of the other hydraulics brakes we have tested in the channel. So, in conclusion, this bike gets a high rating from us for riding quality, suspension, motor performance, range, off-road capabilities, headlight and taillight design, and overall aesthetics. The Engwe M20 gets a fair rating from us in terms of brakes. I think they should definitely go with the hydraulic brake for future iteration. Overall, this is an excellent e-bike for the price and tops our recommendation. Engwe has never disappointed us with their high-power e-bikes, and M20 holds that tradition. We have a link in the description of this video for this e-bike, as well as other Engwe e-bikes we have reviewed in this channel. Please let us know your thoughts about this electric bike in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. We'll be back again with another e-bike review.